Welcome everyone to Fitzy Friday. Sean Fitzgerald, one of the personal trainers here at Upper Valley Aquatic Center. So, like always, like and subscribe. Try to share some content, get stuff out there as much as we can. So, kind of go over kind of what we do here. So, today on Fridays, we basically talk about some of the questions that some people got, some of the myths that are around with the fitness industry, some of the kind of like crazy maybe exercises that you might see on like Instagram or on social media, or something that you might find on the web that like, oh, should I be doing that? So kind of we're looking at a wide variety of things that are out there and in our kind of our world, and what we can do to either agree with them, disagree with them, kind of, just all opinion based. So that's kind of what we do here. So hope you guys enjoy. So we'll kind of chit chat for a little bit. So last week we, had a different topic. So we talked about, pain after workout and, what is associated with that. So, if you're interested in something like that, you can go back and review that one. So this week, it's going to be kind of a topic with everyone getting back into the gyms, with people wanting to work out more, where lifting is starting to actually be a little more popular, where everyone's kind of making a shift maybe away from the cardio trend. So we're going to talk about women getting big, right? Or the conception that, oh, I'm a female, if I lift, I'm going to get like this big, bulky, like, not appealing figure, right? So where that came from, not entirely sure how that started gaining traction, but if you take a look at a lot of the things that happen in the fitness and the health world, you get one thing, somehow it gains traction and it just kind of goes off the rails, right? So this is not true at all. It is completely false. If you just start to lift, you move weights, you lift heavy, you're not going to be a bodybuilder, right? So when you see someone that does do those competitions, or you see someone that kind of has that figure, my first question would be, how long have you been doing this, right? They're going to tell you that they're going to be doing it for a very long time. So it basically took 10, 15, 20 years to actually get to where they're at. Like, it just does not happen like that. Like, that is hard, true dedication. Like, that's work, right? So it's not easy to get that. So women getting big, that's not it at all, right? So kind of chit-chatting about it, like what would be some of the worries is like, well, men and women have different hormones. So men, will get bigger, they carry more testosterone, right? So that kind of basically what helps. Women, might carry some, but not enough to where it would correlate to them, being, what people call as like, let's say the meathead, or, like some term that people will put on it. So there's one like aspect right there. It's like women do not carry enough testosterone, that one hormone that will help, so it won't affect at all. You can lift heavy and you're probably going to actually see yourself maybe look the way that you actually feel comfortable and you want to look, right? So that's an avenue. All right. So what happens when we do strength training, right? Why would we even want to, from, a male, female standpoint, doesn't matter age, right? That'll be probably another topic. We'll probably talk about why kids or youth athletes or youth in general can lift, right? But why strength training at all? Why move, say, a barbell or a trap bar or dumbbells or a kettlebell, like, and heavy, not, just small weight. What are the benefits to it, right? So gaining muscle will decrease body fat, right? So it's kind of just little tricks that we need to where that is actually beneficial for your body, right? So we're not going to get into too much of the science and too much of like stuff, but just for basic premises is that lifting weight, right, will get you stronger, right? Increase more muscle, right? Let's increase that muscle mass, right? Start burning, some more calories, right? And there in turn will actually start helping with that, maybe that avenue of what you're trying to get, right? So you feel stronger, right? You're gonna lift more weight. Say you start out with a 10-pound dumbbell, right? You work out, you start getting heavier, 15, 20, you get stronger. Like, how does it feel, as itself? Like, oh, I'm starting to work out more. I'm starting to lift more. You just feel better, right? It's that like self-esteem, that confidence, and it's not just for, the female lifters. Like, your male lifters, have the same thing. They feel better when they can start lifting more. So, but just from the basic standpoint that I can get stronger and I can feel better about myself, right? Like I'm strong, right? So that's an area that instead of worrying about, oh, I'm going to bulk up, I'm going to look like, this person that can't move, and like my biceps are going to be coming out of my shirts, and so not where it's actually will go. That it's not going to happen. Guys that do have bigger biceps probably work on, that muscle itself, which would be your bicep curls, right? So things like that. So they're training that muscle. But if you're just working out to, want to increase muscle mass and want, to lose some weight, or, to get a little more healthier, right? Well, you're probably doing more exercises like deadlifts and squats and maybe some, step ups to like an overhead press, so you're doing more like a movement based probably training instead of spending, your time in the gym, like isolating a certain muscle group, right? So there's the other area that you got to take a look at, is that I'm not spending an hour in the gym only training my biceps. Like, you're spending an hour in the gym to get more healthy and feel and build your confidence up, right? So you're not going to get maybe that definition that someone else might have that only trains that way. So there's one area, you want to kind of take a look at when you're looking at someone like, oh, like, he's got a lot of, his body, you can see the individual, and they're like, so they do that, they train that for a reason. That's their own training program, right? So we just want to kind of spread the word that it is healthy for you to come in. It is healthy for you to strength train. It's healthy for you to lift heavy properly, right? With proper form, right? So you're not getting hurt, but it is something that is very beneficial to everyone, just not only females. So you're not going to get that big and bulky feeling that, or, look like, you're this Arnold Schwarzenegger type, so that's not what is going to happen. It will not happen overnight at all, right? And even if you strength train for a year, 2 years, you still might not grow as much as you think you might, so those are things that you kind of got to take a look at. And we take a look at, well, what are you putting into your body for muscle growth, right? So are you getting enough of protein, right? Your lean protein and things like that for muscle repair. Like, so it kind of, there's so much that goes into it to why those, IFBB pros or the bodybuilders like look the way they look, right? They are training very hard, right? For like their sport, right? It's their sport that they are training for. They're working on individual muscles, certain muscle groups to look a certain way, to build up a certain way, right? So we are never training the way they train. They also have a certain way they eat, right? What's going into their body to make them look the way they want to look, the way they want to, to train and get for their requirements, right? So they're on strict diets. Not, so they're monitoring what goes into their body and what doesn't, right? So for everyone else, you're just your athletes, your mom, stay-at-home mom, your business mom, like basically anyone else, you're probably rushing around getting the kids out, right? Trying to get breakfast. You snag what? An apple, banana. You try to grab something quick, right, to eat because you're trying to get the kids out the door, right? So your meals might look a little different. So they're probably healthy, for you and for what you want, but it's not on the same level as someone else that's competing for, those bodybuilding type or the bikini model show, those type of athletes, right? So your training principles are two completely different things. So you will not develop that type of stature because of that, right? You're going to come into the gym, say once, twice, 3 times a week. Hopefully you're doing it 2 to 3 times because that's a really good kind of habit to get into, And while you look at someone else like, well, they're probably in the gym maybe 5, 6, some people 7 days a week, right? So their training is a little different, and they spend most of their time there, where you want to get in and out in like 45 to an hour, right? Which is perfect, which is where you want to be, right? Because we can literally train that all day long and reach the goals you want within that time frame, because we can hit you with several exercises, several sets to basically get us where you want to go and feel comfortable. But so we just want to make sure that you're coming into the gym, right? You're feeling comfortable, you're feeling confident, and that's the first step, right? You're there because you want to make a change, which is awesome, which is the hardest part for anyone to, walk in that door and come into a gym, and it's very intimidating, right? Especially if you're new to it, things like that. But that's why we're here. Like, we're here to be like, how can we help you? How can we make this an enjoyable experience for you so you can keep obtaining those goals and the habit that you want for your life? So we want to make sure that we're hitting programs that are designed to meet your need and to fit your schedule to make sure you hit your goals. I want, the common thing is like, oh, I want to lose, 10, 15, whatever, however many pounds, all the way, whatever you want, right? Cool. We can do that. But it's going to be based off of you and what you're able to do. You can't compare yourself coming into a gym, maybe only working out for like a half a year, to someone that has been in the gym for 5 years. Right? We can't compare that. It's just not fair, right? And you're going to be beating yourself up from day one for nothing. Like, everyone's going to be able to work out differently at different pace, and the bodies will adapt and develop differently. So you just have to make sure that you understand that I'm here. My small wins are sleeping better. I got less pain maybe in certain areas of my body. My clothes are, fitting a little differently. I feel like I don't run out of, not out of breath, like going up the stairs or something. So these are like little wins that mean a lot, because you keep packing on those little wins, they become big wins, So 1% better every day, is that saying that a lot of people know. 1% better every day is the goal that you want. And that is a very good goal, because guess what? You are busy, right? No one here is telling you that you got to live in this, in the gym, and you got to do this, this, and this. Be like, no, like, you got kids you got to take care of. You got a job that you got to take care of. You got a family, you have your own things. You got friends, so there's things that are more important than spending 10 hours in the gym, So that's why we want to make sure that we're building your confidence up. You are also seeing those small little steps of great progress, right? And then, a lot, like, you see all of us with like clipboards and pens and papers, like, we have programs written out, like, numbers don't lie. If I see that you're getting stronger, you're getting stronger. That is progress, and that is what we want, right? We want you to come into the gym. If you can only do bodyweight exercises, well, in a couple weeks, if you're starting to move 10, 15, 20, that's a win. That is a huge win. And that is something to be extremely proud of, right? Because that's the hard work you're putting into it. And no, you will not bulk up. You will not look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? You're not. That's just not going to happen, right? You're probably going to, your arms might slim down. You might actually start maybe developing some of the muscles throughout your upper back. Maybe through your shoulder. The hardest area. Because probably another topic will be targeted fat loss, right? That's going to be another one that we'll cover and go over and everything. But you'll think, like maybe your legs will start to thin out, like your calves will start to, so there's all these little things that you can track without really spending a lot of time on. If you're thinking about it, why, put the tape measure around you. Like that's one that where a lot of, some of the guys, because they want to do muscle growth, you just wrap the tape around you to see if you're getting any of that muscle growth, right? So you can, if you got a little seamstress tape measure, the soft ones, like if that's important to you, you can, after 3-4 weeks, hit some measurements. Cool. Like if you seeing numbers is what's important, that's what your goal is to give you your confidence that you want, then yeah, do that. But you can't beat yourself up about, oh, well, I would say, my calf is 16 inches and then, it went down to 14 and then it's back up to 7, so it's like, so you got to kind of understand like why the numbers are, right? So you might be growing the muscle. Say it's in your calf, you're developing, you're doing exercises to like actually maybe increase the size of the muscle. So it's going to get bigger, right? Just doesn't necessarily, it's not a bad thing, right? At all. You're developing a muscle and it's growing in size. It's going to be stronger, right? It's going to be healthier in the long run. So those are where things can kind of get, if you're not 100% sure, that's where, we come in and we can really, help you with why, that's the whole thing with like scales and numbers and weight, like, yeah, it's pretty good, indicator. Yeah, you might help. Be like, all right, like I'm 200, I just want to drop to 180. All right, yeah, that makes sense. But if you take a look at someone that is, 200, like 180, 200, but you take a look at their body fat percentage, you got someone that is, say 14, 20, 30, if you take a look at it, they're going to look completely different and they're at the same weight. So that's where, we kind of come in with different, with different numbers and like what we kind of look at to kind of help, like, yeah, we want to hit a certain number on a scale, but we want to take a deeper look into other things. How are you feeling? How are you sleeping? How are your eating habits? Like, have you, felt like you actually stopped snacking less? Things like that. But, coming into the gym, being bulked up, being, looking like this is not going to happen. It's a myth, and it's one of those things that just, I wish it would kind of, stop in our field. Eventually it will, the more and more we do things, like these YouTubes and, like all the conferences and a lot of, social media. Like once we finally get out there and we just keep preaching and just saying, hey, this is not it. Like it's healthy to lift. It's healthy, it'll be better, and we'll make a change and that will actually be beneficial. And, so the same thing goes in as we don't, if we're lifting and we're creating pain, that's more of a thing to look into. But like you should be lifting to get stronger, to be healthier, and it is okay. Like it is safe. It's very effective, right? We all know it's effective. And, more than likely what we'll probably cover will be a cardio section, because a lot, it goes on between, oh, you should only do cardio, you should do strength training, so that will be another topic that we're going to go on that, all of us could spend a lot of time on, but we want to make sure that you kind of understand from our standpoint that lifting weights as a female athlete or, a female coming in and just starting out, you will not bulk up. The CrossFit, you see all those CrossFit ladies, right, that compete in the opens and things like that. Like, they look that way because they train that way. So again, you're not going to go into a box and pump out a couple, workouts, a couple things like that, and then, you're on ESPN, right? Like, no, it takes a lot to get to where they are, and they dedicate a lot of time, a lot of effort into getting to where they are, right? So if that is a goal you want to do, all right, let's do it, right? Like, we can do it. But if you're nervous that, oh, I don't want to pick up a weight because I think I'm going to look like that after a set, yeah, that's where we're going to want to take a look and be like, no, that's not it at all. All right. So, hopefully this kind of helps, anyone that's kind of, on the fence about, oh, should I come into a gym? Should I not come into a gym? Is there something I can do? Is there, you will not bulk up. You will not get like that. We can easily, get rid of that myth and say, no, we're not, that's not how it works. And hopefully that brings a couple more people back into the gym again and gets, get some more, females out here to start introducing them to get them feel more confident, more comfortable, stronger, and just create that positivity that we need here. So I hope you guys, took a couple takeaways from this. We can go on for a long time talking, the science, and there's a lot that we can go on, but hope something kind of, helped, and something kind of, made sense, and kind of put a couple worries to bed, and we good. So like always, don't forget to like and subscribe, right? Share any information that, you want, family and friends. If you're ever in the Upper Valley, come by the Aquatic Center, stop in, say hi to all of us, check out what we get to do. And, today's Friday, so I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, depending on where you are. So hopefully you get out, get to have some fun, whether you go hiking, kayaking, doing some housework, or whatever, get out, get active, get moving. Hopefully you're just not sitting on the couch, but, take some time, have some fun this weekend. All right. And we'll look forward to it, and we'll come back next week with something new. All right. You guys have a good one.